for having me in this meeting today. So it's a pleasure to be part of this discussion.
Wonderful, Bhaskar. Why don't you quickly introduce yourself to the entire team?
Sure. Good evening, everyone. This is Bhaskar here. So I'm staying in Columbus, Ohio, and I have been fairly almost over a decade here living in US. So yeah, that's pretty much about it.
Wonderful, wonderful. So Bhaskar, would you also want to share what prompted you to connect with a wellness coach through WQ?
Sure. Just to give an abstraction of where I come from. So I'm a health fanatic. I really love to take care of my fitness, and actually in a couple of my sessions and also with a couple of discussions with Indian, I told him I always have a philosophy that I will never get sick again because I have a very brief history of being very lean and staying fit in my in the entire 12 or 13 years of this journey. But somewhere you always lose the edge, right? That's what exactly happened during the pandemic time. Is I started gaining excessive amount of weight. So it caused a lot of issues. The first issue that I could notice myself is lethargy. I was so lazy to take any new initiatives. Also, if I wanted to take initiatives, my physical fitness would not embrace me to do that. So that led me to a lot of frustration, a lot of mental challenges, and physical challenges to it. And and again, as I said, I'm very fitness cautious person. So I always there is some unconscious thought that was running in my mind, like, hey, this is not good. You need to do something. You need to do something. That's where I took some actions on myself and try to correct those wrong things that are going in my life, both physical and mental. But I couldn't do that. So that is where I was. I reached out to Panchal sir. Again, he's my professor in my college days, and I know him since my college career. So that's when I said him hey, I really need your help in this. I've seen your testimonies and I've seen your work so far. So that's how I got introduced to Wellness Quotient, and 1 year of journey. I'm embracing it, and I'm really glad I'm part of this community.
Oh, wonderful. That's really nice to know, Bhaskar. So if you don't mind, when you connected with Penshul, what was running in your mind, or what was your weight? Because that's what, seems to be the biggest thing on your mind.
Yeah. So when I started my journey with Wellness Quotient, my weight was 185 lbs. Now, so I would say almost this has been 10th month in this journey. And I'm now at 152 lbs to be precise.
Wow, that's like 30 plus pounds on. That's awesome. Let's give a big hand. That's a wonderful, consistent, journey, Bhaskar. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Really happy. So, how are you feeling now? So you talked about lethargy and a couple of other things. How do you feel now?
You could see in my face, a lot of my friends are telling that, I'm looking much younger than what I was earlier. That's a good sign, right? And yeah. And also I see a huge change in my energy. I'm more initiative oriented person. So if anything new has to be initiated, I'm now willing to take it so fast, which I was unable to do that a couple of months back. So mentally, I see a lot of peace in my mind, and I have that sense of confidence, right, which you get through having a fit body and thinking that I can do wonders with what I am capable of. So I see that kind of a mental energy that has given to me, and also I'm taking new initiatives every month. Say for example, last a couple of weeks back, I visited my family. They stay in Virginia, and again, if you're in a social gathering, you cannot restrict yourself by eating and drinking things and doing all those activities, right? So I could see that I all of a sudden gained 5 lbs of weight. That hey, you know what, that is giving me kind of a notion, right, that hey, I'm very cautious about my health. I know what I'm doing, what bad I did. So previously I did not have that kind of a knowledge, but now I know yeah, I did some bad things. Now I need to recover those stuff. So I started taking new initiative, apart from my workouts, daily workout routine, I will add 10,000 steps a day. So I have so far covered almost like 75 miles of walking within a 4 weeks span, and
Wow.
I could finish it. You see the level of confidence, right? Last year, if you could have asked me, I could have done like 1 or 2 10,000 steps walkings, and just like, you know what, this is enough. It's not helping me, and I think it's time for me to quit. Now it's not happening. That so within a span of 3 weeks, I was able to cut down my weight from 157 lbs to 152 lbs. So that is the very cautious thing that's happening.
Wonderful. So you're saying you're more aware, right?
More of
Now.
that's right.
So, Bhaskar, see, you were also telling me, that you are a very physically active person, and you're always been, focused on fitness. So, is it only 30 kgs of weight loss, or is there something specific in terms of, you measured, progress in terms of your fat loss as well, or how is it?
That's a very good question, Indian, because weight gain just doesn't. It's not about a measurement, right? So there are a lot of other parameters associated to it. So the major problems I had was my body fat was very high. So I was close to 33 to 34% of body fat is what I had when I started the journey. And my visceral fat was way too high. It was around 13 units, I believe. I don't know the exact units that it gets measured, but the number was 30.
It's a
But
percentage.
yeah, but now I see that the body fat percentage has come down to 22% and my muscle mass has increased. The muscle mass was 20%, sorry, it was 25%. Now it's 36.3%.
Bhaskar,
And
that's almost you're entering the athletic range. That's really nice. Awesome.
and my visceral fat was 13 and now it's down to 8.
Brilliant. That's really, really wonderful progress, Bhaskar. So, Bhaskar, if you can, quickly tell us what have been your, let's say, top 3 things that you changed, or what the top 3 things that you really, picked up, your takeaways during this program with your coach.
Yeah. So to answer this question, Indian, one of the fallacy I had was, everything can be solved by workouts. Because I was into my fitness journey for almost 12 years. And I all of a sudden gained weight, and that was my journey, right? I thought, like, oh, it's time for me to intervene and start taking care of my health, and I started doing heavy workouts. I did a lot of weight training. I did cardio training. I did HIIT workouts, like high intensive training workouts. Nothing helped. And so the 3 main undertakings I took, or the main points that I even want to take it as a life lesson, is you need to know how to eat, what to eat, and then how do you physically stay active. These are the 3 key. So Panchal sir helped me educate myself towards, hey, I know you eat a lot of food, because as a fitness freak, I know, like, you are more cautious about what you the quantity that you eat, right? But the way that you eat is what matters the most, is what Panchal sir taught me. So it's like, eating veggies, and then following with the veggies, you need to eat some carbs and protein, and the proportion that you eat, like in every 2 cups of veggies, you need to eat 1 cup of rice and 1 cup of protein. Nobody's stopping you from having the second cup. If you want to have second cup of rice, make sure you eat 2 more cups of veggies, which is pretty sure nobody will be able to do that, right? So more cautious way of eating it. And also the way I used to cook the food is like, just put all the veggies in a pressure cooker, cook it completely, and try to eat it where all the nutrients are gone. So they educated me on that, like, hey, make sure that you take care of what you eat. How you cook, that also is very important. So I started using stainless steel utensils and stop pressure cooking the food, and also make sure that I'm not using too much sodium or sugar into any of my food, and be cautious on those kind of key nutrients that I'm adding to my palate. That's the second parameter. Third parameter is associating workouts. I learned that in a hard way, that just going and lifting heavy weights is not going to help us. Just by doing 10,000 steps a day is going to help a lot, but provided you take care of the food intake, and also how you're eating your food. These were the key parameters that I learned so far.
Wonderful. That's so true, Bhaskar, because a lot of times we, there is so much of, glamour about workouts that people miss out the basic fact that it's 70-30. 70% of our health and weight is defined or influenced by the food we eat, food and nutrition we eat, and only 30% goes into what we work out with. Yeah, wonderful. That's a very important point that you brought out, right? I have we have a lot of people here who are in the journey as well. So do you have any message for them?
Yeah, a lesson learned in a hard way, is this, whatever fitness routine or the health routine that you're going to take, it's going to be a life journey. So it's not going to happen in a day or two. So be persistent and be confident, because our coaches are excellent. They do an excellent work. I had my ups and downs during this journey. Sometimes I reached out to Penchals. I said, like, sir, this is not working out. Good example is, I did this routine for 3 months. It came to a plateau at one point, and I started seeing my weight gain. I started feeling like, oh, I don't think so this is working. It's yet another fitness routine that I took to drop my weights. And when I reached Penchal sir, he helped me a lot to understand, like, hey, this is common. Reaching a plateau is common. There are a number of ways to again trigger your weight loss. And that journey, ups and downs, is always acceptable. You just need to know this is a known fact, and just embrace this journey. Don't divert your goal. Keep the goal what you have. Keep small chunks of road maps, telling, like, okay, within 15 days I'm going to lose 5 lbs, and start reaching those small micro goals, and eventually you will hit the target that you're looking for.
Wonderful, wonderful, Bhaskar. In fact, Bhaskar, the last time we were talking, I was so excited about how much you embraced wellness as a lifestyle itself, right? And in fact, it is people like you who inspire us more to reach out more. Our goal as a community today is to reach out to 1 million people, all across the globe, and help them lead the healthier lives. And we would love to have somebody like you who's so passionate and who's internalized the wellness principles as somebody who's who can partner with us and as an ambassador, evangelist. That's what we're looking forward to. Right?
Thank you. Yeah, I'll be glad to be part of this community. And it's always said that not just being part of the community is enough. Giving back to the community is what matters the most, and I'm willing to do that.
Brilliant.
A big shout out to your better half, because I know you have a little one. So it takes up a lot of her time, but at the same time, she's like, it's not required that you always have to do it together as a spouse, and you have to have your spouse's support. But in your case, it's also turned out that, you guys could, she could support you all through. And that's really brilliant.
Yeah. Kudos to her.
Yes. And you should tell her, Easter today, I know she's taking care of the little girl, and that's the reason.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Let's do it. Yeah, sorry, Bhaskar, please.
Just that, it's not just my lifestyle now, it's my family's lifestyle. It's not just me having this kind of a routine. Even my wife is doing that, and she's embracing it.
Brilliant, Bhaskar. Such a pleasure having you here. And let's give a big hand for Bhaskar. Congratulations, Bhaskar. And we look forward to, seeing you, far, far more healthier and reaching, your health goals as well. Right?
Thanks.
Wonderful.